Okay, awesome.
Namaste. Welcome you. Welcome to the International Sanskrit Days program. This program is jointly organized.
Can you unmute Chiranjeeviji? Unmute and speak.
Yes,
I've muted everyone.
Okay. Namaste. Welcome you all. Welcome to the International Sanskrit Day celebration program. And this program is organized by Nepalese Hindu Forum UK and Jarikilo Pratisthan Nepal. And I would like to welcome the guest, Helen Harper, our guru, our teacher, who inspired us for Sanskrit, and she is the Sanskrit course director at St. James, Sanskrit at St. James. And Kamal Rauniarji, he is not here, he will join us shortly. And Dr. Nirmalmani Adhikari from Nepal. He is the associate professor, head of Department of Language and Mass Communication of Kathmandu University. And also, I would like to welcome all the participants of this program, important programs, and those who are going to recite the Bhagavad Gita today. Bhagavad Gita today. Welcome you all. We aim to finish this program in 1 hour by 8 o'clock, considering the timing in Nepal. It is very late in Nepal. And Dr. Adhikari ji, who was very busy throughout the day, it is too late. So we aim to finish that. So I request the speaker to consider this time. First of all, I would like to request Acharya Durga Prasad Pokhrel ji for Swasti Bachan, as well as shed light on the Sanskrit class run with the support of Sanskrit at St. James School. Thank you. Durga ji.
Namo Namaha, Namo Savabhyah, Savapativyascha. Thank you everyone for being here. Let me start with some prayers as per our tradition. Swasti na Indro Vidasravaha, Swasti na Pukha Vishwavedaha, Swasti na Starkshu Arishtanemi, Swasti no Vrihaspatir Dadatu. Om Dev Shanti Rantarikshagum Shanti Prithivi Santi Rapah Santi Rokadaya Santi Vanaspataya Santir Vishve Deva Santir Brahma Santi Sarvagum Shanti Santi Reva Santi Sama Santi Redi. May peace prevail on heaven, interspace, and earth, on water, herbage and vegetation, on all deities, the oversoul, and all entities. May I experience peace unceasingly. Om Shanti, Om Peace, Om Peace, Om Peace. On behalf of Nepalese Hindu Forum UK, I would like to welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Nirmalmani Adhikari, founder of Jarikilo Pratisthan of Nepal, Dr. Helen Harper, director of Sanskrit at St. James, London, and other distinguished guests. I think Dr. Kamal Rauniar will join a bit later. And my sincere welcome to all IGCSE students who will present their Gita verses today. I'm very happy to see all of you. And regarding Sanskrit here, we have been doing several classes. Helenji is conducting few classes for Nepalese and Indian communities. And I'm running a few classes, but this time I have only one class running with me. But it is very interesting that in UK, during the time of lockdown, everything was locked down, but Sanskrit was going well, very well. And we were enjoying. It is a kind of soothing experience. everyone were enjoying, and even for school holidays, we consider only 1 week, looking at the enthusiasm of the people learning Sanskrit. So Sanskrit is very vibrant and getting ahead. And being a Sanskrit assessment consultant in Cambridge, I have got new experience that people are more interested in Sanskrit if we spread the light of Sanskrit to make a sense of life in them. Everybody is enjoying, and hopefully this evening everyone will be more delightful. So I don't take much time. I again welcome Suswagatam, Suswagatam, Suswagatam. Namo Namaha.
Thank you so much, Durgaji. Okay. So in this program, we have two parts. In the first part, there will be some speech and highlight about Sanskrit, the importance of Sanskrit language, where our guest speakers will shed some light about the Sanskrit. And in the second part, we are going to recite some Sanskrit verses from the Bhagavad Gita. So next, I would like to request the chairman of this program, today's program, and the chairman of Nepalese Hindu Forum UK, Major Surya Upadhyayji, to briefly highlight the activities of NHF UK, Nepalese Hindu Forum UK, in relation to Sanskrit language promotion in the UK. Suryaji.
Please unmute, please.
Unmute गर्नु पर्यो होला.
Yeah, it's unmuted now. I would like to welcome everyone on this program, a very, very important program, which we got the encouragement from Dr. Nirmala Mani Adhikari-ji. So again, I know Acharya Durgaji, you mentioned it. I would like to add more on that. In particular, both yourself and Helen Harper-ji, who are the main Dr. Nirmala ji to include us on this 4th World Sanskrit Diwas, and Helen Harper to actually introduce Sanskrit to the Nepalese community in UK. I just want to highlight 2 objectives of Nepali Hindu Forum UK, and I would just like to restrict myself on Sanskrit today and not talk about the glory of what we did in the past years. Our 2 main objectives, we had 5 objectives when we started this 2010, and there were various reasons to actually start the Hindu Forum. The first objective was to promote, protect, practice, and preserve rich Hindu religious tradition through youth-oriented program. So basically, youth is our center in all the activities we do. And also present, preserve, protect, and promote Hinduism and its rich religious tradition, culture, and values in a rational and scientific manner to highlight its significance and relevance in the modern day world. So it's so relevant today that we have got young students, youths, adults as well, who have been our students and who will be doing the recitation later. And I'm looking forward, and I'm sure every one of us are looking forward to it. And I would also like to welcome Giridhari Banji, a very, very active members of the Hindu community in UK from Manchester. And I see that Dr. Kamal Roniar has also joined us. So without any further ado, I would like to welcome every one of you, in particularly our 3 guests, Dr. Nirmala Mani Adhikari-ji from Nepal. It's almost midnight in Nepal, who agreed to join us. He's been doing whole day program today. Helen Harperji and Dr. Kamal Rohiniaji and all the students who will be reciting today, and everyone who have joined us today. I know it is a Sanskrit day and we should all have been talking in Sanskrit, but my knowledge of Sanskrit is almost nil, but I will be there. Helen Harper has told me that I've got to be there. But because it's a mixed audience, we decided to conduct it in English. I hope every one of you will understand that later we will have the proper Sanskrit recitation from the students. Without any further ado, I would like to pass it on now to Chiranjeevi Paurelji to continue the proceeding. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Surjaju. Today is Sunday, and Sunday we have Sanskrit class with Helenji. She is our teacher, and we recite Bhagavad Gita. So I would like to recite one verse from the Bhagavad Gita, because we are going to recite it later in the second part. This is the first verse. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmachetre kuruchetre samaveta yutsava mamakaha pandavaschaiva kimakurvata sanjaya. Okay, thank you for this time. Okay, next our guest is Dr. Helen Harper. She is the director at Sanskrit at St. James, and she is our inspiring teacher. So I would like to request her to shed light on the importance of Sanskrit and also recite some verses, Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads.
Right. Well, I don't know whether I should be coming before some of the eminent company that we have here, but anyway, greetings to all of you wonderful people, and happy Sanskrit Day. So I was asked to say just a little bit about why I'm inspired to study Sanskrit and why I put so much effort into this whole operation called Sanskrit at St. James. First of all, why Sanskrit? We have this little magazine that I've put out that probably all of you haven't got yet, but if you'd like one, let me know. Just the fact that I really am convinced after, well, probably far too many decades to admit to, of teaching Sanskrit, that it is the perfect educational tool for children and adults, because it combines all these different aspects of human development, the mathematical, scientific, literary, spiritual, musical. It's incredible. It really is the most extraordinary educational experience for the development of people of all ages. And what I find after many, many years is that one never stops learning. And so that's a wonderful thing to learn after all these years. And Sanskrit will always serve you with something new. So now, what about this organization? Well, after teaching, what you realize is that Sanskrit offers this wonderful opportunity to young people to expand their knowledge, their potential in all aspects of their life, not to be limited in any way, in their thinking, in their belief in themselves, and so on. And to have some idea of service, because everything within the Sanskrit scriptures really does speak about service and love of your fellow person. So this is really important. So Sanskrit at St. James, then, I started helping with websites. We've got 2 websites. We've also got projects doing teacher training, actually teaching people. We have classes. Of course, the schools have classes for children. And if you know people who can afford to send their children to that school. It's, in my opinion, the best school you could send your children to, because they teach Sanskrit from 4.5 to 16 years old. It's part of their whole, that whole tradition is part of their whole schooling. It's not religious. It obviously it encompasses spirituality, but it covers all religions and people who don't feel they're religious. So it's a complete all-round education, including Sanskrit. So, of course, I've been to Nepal, which is, of course, the most wonderful country, and met the most wonderful people, I must say. I honestly don't know whether Dr. Nirmala Adhikari, whether we've actually met. I think I did visit Kathmandu University with Chintamani Ji Yogi, but yes, so it really is the most remarkable country, as you all know, and I feel that Sanskrit and the tradition is very much alive there. That was my experience of it. So I think maybe what we should do is, I've been asked to recite a couple of things, and what I've chosen, I have got a cold, but I'm doing my best. What I've chosen is what's called the Shiva Sankalpam Suktam, Shiva Sankalpa Suktam, which is 6 verses, and you'll see what they say. You may not follow the Sanskrit, but you'll probably follow the English. Yajagrato duramutai titaiwantadu suktasya tataivaiti durangamang gyoti shangyotirekam tamme mana shiva sankalpamastu. That divine intelligence, the one far shining light of lights, ranges far in waking and goes the same way in sleep. May my mind rest in that, intent on the highest good. There are many translations, of course, in English. Yena dharmanya paso manishino yajne pranvanti vidate shudhira yada purvang yakshamantah rajanan tanme mana shiva sankalpamastu. That which empowers the keepers of holy traditions when they gather to perform sacred acts, that causal spirit in all beings, may my mind rest in that, intent on the highest good. Yat prajana mutacheto dhritishcha yat jyotirantaramritam prajasu yasmanakrite kinchana karma kriyate tanme mana shiva sankalpamastu. That knowledge, memory, and will, that immortal light within all creatures, without which no action can be done, may my mind rest in that, intent on the highest good. Yenedam bhutam bhuvanam bhavishyat parigrihitam amritena sarvam yena yajñastayate saptahota tanme mana shiva sankalpamastu. That eternity which contains all this, the world, the past, the future, that through which the sacrifice by 7 priests unfolds, may my mind rest in that, intent on the highest good. Yasmin richah samayadu pungsi yasmin tatishitaratana bhavivara Yasmin Chitakung Sarvamotam Prajanan Tamme Manashita Sankalpamastu. That in which the Rik, Sama, and Yajur Vedas are fixed, like spokes in the hub of a wheel, that on which the heart, the mind, the memory of all beings are woven, may my mind rest in that, intent on the highest good. Tusharatira Swaniwa Yanmanushyan Niyate Yishupir Wajina Eva Pratishtam Yadajiranja Vishtam Tanme Manashita Sankalpamastu. Just as a skilled charioteer controls his steeds with reins, so impetuous man is governed by that which dwells in the heart, agile and swiftest of all. May my mind rest in that, intent on the highest good. And then just two verses from the Mundaka Upanishad, 221. Avishannihitang puhacharan nama mahatpadam atraitat samarpitam ejat pranam nimishatcha yadetaj jananata sadasadvare enyam vitparam vidyana adyad varishtham prajanam. It is effulgent, near at hand, and well known as moving in the heart. And it is the great goal. On it are fixed all these that move, breathe, and wink, or do not wink. Know this one, which comprises the gross and the subtle, which is beyond the ordinary knowledge of creatures, and which is the most desirable and the highest of all. And one more verse, just one more. Yadartimad yad anubhyo lucha yasmil lokani hita lokinascha tadetadaksharam brahma sa pranas taduvang manaha tadetat satyam tadamritam tad vedhavyam somya vidhi. That which is bright and is subtler than the subtle, and that on which are fixed all the worlds, as well as the dwellers of the worlds, is this immutable Brahman. It is this vital force. It again is speech and mind. This entity that is such is true. It is immortal. It is to be penetrated. Oh, good-looking one, shoot at it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Helen Harperji, for an excellent, wonderful, and perfect recitation of different verses. This is quite clear, and you have explained it quite clearly. Thank you so much. I remember when I met Helenji a few years ago, and who said Sanskrit is not only language, it is beyond language. And this is a therapy, which I myself experienced that when I recite some verses. That is quite true. Thank you so much. And our next guest is, today's guest is Dr. Kamal Rauniarji, a scholar, a teacher of Hinduism and Vedic math. He is also teacher of yoga, and we don't need his to shed light on his. I say more about this. He is well-known scholar and lives in Manchester. Dr. Roniarji.
Namaste. We all know the meaning, most of us at least, the word namaste, which is obviously two words conjoined, namaha and te. Literal meaning is obviously I bow to thee. But I would like to actually tell the more deeper meaning, which was given by Jeffrey Armstrong-ji, Kavindra Rishi, and I noted it down in my diary because I found it so elaborate, so spiritual. So here we go. Namaste. I see you as a beautiful divine being whose eternal consciousness pervades your body and mind and is the light of your true self, shining across to mine. I bow to that divine transcendent being that is the real you. So that's Namaste. And also because today is Rishi Tarpani, Rishi Raksha Bandhan. So on this occasion, I wish all of you, Sarvesham Jananam Raksha Bandhan Divasasya Shubhasaya. I don't know how long I have been allocated for this, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if I may just have some idea. What do you?
We are planning to finish before 8 o'clock, so please.
How long do you want me to continue for?
5 minutes.
Okay, because Sanskrit is a topic, it's no ending. It's a life learning process, as Helen rightly said. And I consider myself as a utter beginner student of Sanskrit, because all I have done so far is only scratch the surface. Now you might wonder, why do I say this? Let me give you a little bit of background. I had Sanskrit in my, if you like, childhood, because that was in those days compulsory back home in Nepal. So we had in Sanskrit up to 10th class, 10th grade. But thereafter, there was a clean cut because I went into science. And as you all know, once you enter science and technology, you do not have any link with Sanskrit. So that was where it ended then. And that was back in late 70s. I went to Germany, studied there, completed one of my engineering degrees there, came to Manchester. And about 25 years ago, I once again somehow, if you like, collided with Sanskrit. It was a pure chance. And that's when I started looking into it once again from a completely different angle. And the one thing which made me awestruck of Sanskrit language was this table, which I hope everybody can see. I don't know whether I have been put on a spotlight. If I can show it, Paulji, could you put me on a spotlight so that everybody can see this table, this chart? Because I am seeing you on a spotlight. So can you make the speaker as the?
Yeah, we can see that.
Yeah, but can you make me the, if you like, on the main screen? Because then it will be easier. But anyway, okay, if that's not possible, no worries. When I discovered this, which I have coined the, yeah, it's not doing it, which
Dr.
I find
the speaker view, that's fine. We are seeing you in speaker view. Yeah,
okay, that's great. So I hope you can all see it. Okay, so this chart turned my head around. When I saw this, I started thinking about, well, it's not mere a language, because a language do not have a structured alphabetical systematic presentation like you have usually in periodic table of elements. So I called it periodic table of sounds, whereby quite clearly vowels, consonants, semi-vowels, Usman and Antastha sounds, all separated distinctly, very, very clearly. And there is a one-to-one connection in every single word and every single letter presented here. And there's a very clever thing called matras, which there are 11 of. If you include a matra, there is 12. Anyway, that's going deeper. We won't want to do that. But what struck in my mind was Sanskrit like any other language, initially is taken as something of artistic value, like art and craft and so on, which means we tend to use the right side of our brain. Okay, that's arts and culture and so on, imaginative part of the brain. When you looked at this table, it immediately forces you to look at it much more scientifically, because there is a proper structure, there is a logic, there is a systematic way of presentation of individual letters, their sounds, their shapes. So it automatically makes you think that there is a logic behind it, meaning we are using the logical part of the brain, the left part of the brain. So to my surprise, I discovered Sanskrit actually makes us use both parts of our brain rather than just one part, the right part. So that was a almost like a discovery for me. And then I thought, well, I must delve a bit deeper, because there is more to it than what meets the eye. So that's when I started looking at it. Now, I don't know how many of you know the septet of Indian classical music, the saptak, sare, gama, padhani, comes out of all the vowels here, just the vowels. They are called Sharaj, Rishabh, Gandhar, Madhyam, Panchak, and so on, Pancham, and so on. So they actually originate from the vowels of Sanskrit language. Here, 5x5 matrix, where we have got palatal, retroflex, dental, etc. This is where the word Devanagari comes from. They are individual devas residing in their boxes, which are nagars, and they all have a sent deity, which is, again, if anybody likes, I would be very, very happy to send it off to you, maybe to Surya Upadhyayji, and then he can further transmit it. So there are 7 matrikas called Sapta matrikas, they are called in Sanskrit, like Brahmi, Maheshwari, Kaumari, Vaishnu, Barahi, Indrani, and Chamunda, all related to these deities. Hence the word Devanagari. The Nagars where deities reside is called Devanagari. That's where the word comes from. Lastly, this bit, which if you like, if you compare with periodic table, these are the special elements of periodic table. Just I'm paraphrasing it, which have got special properties. They do not fit in any one of these schemes. They are used as Bij mantras, the seed mantra of Kundalini chakras. So just 3 parts of it can explain to you so much about Hinduism. If you really understood it, you have understood half of Hinduism. So when I realized that the simple mere alphabet of Sanskrit language is so powerful, how much knowledge can we gain if we know the language fluently? We can read the Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Upanishads and Vedanta ourselves, understand the meaning, because as we all know, it's such an advanced, such a perfected, almost as we call it, language, that any kind of human emotions can be expressed in it in various ways. And as we all know, it's a language with the maximum number of words possible. So many words which are there in Sanskrit language can never be translated into any other languages, including English. Now, I hope you will bear with me what I'm going to say in next few sentences. Now, a language which has developed so far that the human emotions and feelings can be expressed so subtly in certain words, which is not translatable in other languages. So can you see, if anybody tries to translate Sanskrit into English or any other language, that emotions, that feeling, that meaning can never be conveyed. Never. It's impossible, because the language do not have the capacity to express such feelings, such emotions. So this is why we have to understand, always trying to understand Sanskrit slokas in translation is no good. if we want to really understand the real meaning, the genuine meaning of the verses, we got to read and understand in Sanskrit. There is no two ways about it. And likewise, when you just compare, look, I mean, when we look at the temple architectures and the beauty it expresses, it immediately forces me to compare with the beauty the Sanskrit language expresses. So I hope that people can see one-to-one resemblance into the development, the perfection, the heights Sanskrit language has reached, and that was perhaps 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, and the temple architecture, which is so refined. I'm sure you all have seen many WhatsApp messages of architects, temple architects presented in those pictures. It's beyond description. Now just put the two together. Can any language have been so developed without at the same time the culture, the architect, the representation, i.e. solid representation of the software called language in real life? It could not have been expressed in that extent, in that detail, in that finesse without Sanskrit being there. So Sanskrit also indicates that because the language is so developed, because the language is so far advanced, all the culture which is drags on with it is likewise very advanced, very developed in every aspect of our lives. Architecture was just one example. So this is where one should start thinking all these greatest temples of various places, mostly in India, we see they have not come out of nothing or without any reason, without any foundation. That foundation is Sanskrit. And as we all know, the word Sanskrit leads to Sanskriti, culture. From the language comes the culture. Samskriti leads to samskar. Well, there is no word of sanskar in English, but the nearest translation is sacrament. That is why I use, but I tell them there is no direct translation. Like there is no direct translation in English for soul, atma. We call it soul. It's not direct translation. It's the nearest possible word in English because there is no word in English for atma or atman. So from Sanskrit comes Samskriti, comes samskar, and one who has got samskar is called susamskrit, cultured. So this just showed you in a simple 4-word chain that from Sanskrit, you become susamskrit, i.e. completely, fully developed, fully refined human being, which is what Sanskrit, susamskrit or refined being means. So this is just an indication what Sanskrit entails. And I have written some articles about it. I would be quite pleased to share with everyone in the group. But I think considering the time constraints, I'll stop here. And I hope that everyone who is in the group is inspired to continue their study of Sanskrit. And those of you who haven't started, please, please, please do start. It will help you in all aspects of your life. Never mind just the language, but also in all endeavors. Because it, as I suggested in the beginning, trains your brain to use both parts equally. And that is one of the clues Albert Einstein also mentioned, that unless we learn to use both parts of our brain, we cannot achieve our possible goals in life, our full talent, full capacity. Dhanyavad, namaste.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saab, for an excellent explanation of Sanskrit language. Theoretical, it is theoretical table of sound. This is scientific, logical, beautiful, brilliant, perfect, advanced, and developed. Sanskrit to Sanskriti. It was really inspiring. Thank you so much. And next, I would like to request our chief guest, Dr. Nirmal Mani Adhikari ji from Nepal. He's the he's the he's the head of Department of Language and Mass Communication, Kathmandu University, and he is the author and researcher of many books and journal articles. And he's also the founder of Jarikilo Pratisthan Nepal. I had the opportunity to attend one of the program of Jarikilo of a local group. And when I saw their enthusiasm, their initiative for the development of our language, culture, and everything, I was so inspired. I still remember that. I welcome Dr. Nirmal Adhikari. Thank you.
धन्यवाद. Namaha Sabhabhyo Sabhapatibhyo. Since this is World Sanskrit Day celebration, I'll start reading a little bit in Sanskrit and then I'll come to English. चतुर्थ विश्व संस्कृत दिवसस्य सन्दर्भे समायोजितस्य कार्यक्रमे अत्र समुपस्थिताः संस्कृतज्ञाः एवं संस्कृतानुरागिणः सर्वानहं हार्दं अभिनन्दनं प्रकटयामि प्रणमामि. संसारे प्रचलितानां सर्वासामपि भाषाणां सम्मानाय काचित् अभिव्यक्ति माध्यमं भवतु. मानवजातीनां सम्पत्तिरूपेण धरण्यां विद्यमाना इयं भाषा लोकहिताय साधनं भवतु इति विचारेण वयं वैक्रमाब्दस्य 2075तः विश्व संस्कृत दिवसम् आचरन्तः वर्तामहे. इदानीं वयं चतुर्थ विश्व संस्कृत दिवसं हर्षपूर्वकम् आचरन्तः स्मः. जरोकिलो प्रतिष्ठानस्य आह्वाने एकीभूय नेपाल संस्कृत विश्वविद्यालयः त्रिभुवन विश्वविद्यालयस्य संस्कृत केन्द्रीय विभाग, त्रिचन्द्र महाविद्यालयस्य दर्शनं तथा मनोविज्ञान विभाग तथा च जयतु संस्कृतं सनातन धर्म महासंघ, सहृदयता इंटरनेशनल अमेरिका, विश्व भूटानी हिंदू संगठन अमेरिका एवं नेपाली हिंदू फोरम यूके प्रभृतय एवं च अनेकाः लब्ध प्रतिष्ठा संस्था अपि अस्मिन् चतुर्थ विश्व संस्कृत दिवसे एकत्र सम्भूताः वर्तन्ते. तथा च नेपाले भिन्न भिन्न क्षेत्रेषु तथा च नेपालात् बहिरपि वैदेशिका स्वमेधया एतत् संस्कृतानुष्ठानम् आचरन्तः सन्तीति विज्ञाय मुमुद्यते मे चेतः. संस्कृत भाषायाः माध्येन एवं परस्परं समरसतायाः समतायाः वातावरणं निर्मीयते इति विचार्य एकत्रीभूतानां संस्थानां सर्वानपि पदाधिकारिणः पुनश्च धन्यवादान् व्याहरामि. विश्व संस्कृत दिवसस्य चतुर्थोत्सव पर्यन्तस्य यात्रायाम् अस्योत्सवस्य अंगीकारत्वं तथा व्याप्तौ च उत्तरोत्तरं वृद्धिर्जायमाना अस्तीति विचारेण वयं नितरां मोदामहे. अस्योत्सव वयं केवलं निमित्तभूताः स्मः. यद्यपि वयं जरोकिलो प्रतिष्ठानद्वारा संस्कृत दिवसस्य आह्वानं कृतवन्तः तथापि अयमुत्सवः समेषां पृथ्वीवास्तव्यानाम् अस्तीति चिन्तनम् अस्माभिः प्रसारणीयम्. मन्त्रद्रष्टारः ऋषयः, बुद्धाः, तीर्थङ्कराः, आचार्याः, गुरवः, साधवः, दार्शनिकाः, कवयः, मनीषिणः, वैज्ञानिकाः एवं अन्वेषकाः एतेषां साहाय्येन वर्धिता इयं भाषा प्राचीन कालादेव मानवानां कृते ज्ञान सभ्यता संस्कृतेः मार्गं प्रदर्शयति. संस्कृतस्य सम्मानं सर्वासामपि भाषाणां सम्मानाय भवति. तथा च समग्रस्य मानव सभ्यताया एव विकासः इत्यत्र नास्ति वैमत्यं कस्यापि इत्यस्माकं चिन्तनं. विश्व संस्कृत दिवसं संस्कृत सम्बद्धा सर्वापि संस्थाः आचरेयुः. एवं च सर्वकार सम्बद्धाः संस्था अपि विषयस्मिन् भृशं विचारयेयुः इत्यस्माकम् अनुरोधः. तथा च प्रतिवर्षं श्रावण पूर्णिमायाम् अर्थात् ऋषितर्पणी पर्वणि विश्व संस्कृत दिवसमाचरितुं वयं संयुक्त राष्ट्र संघस्य ध्यानाकर्षणं कुर्महे. एतदर्थं या प्रक्रिया अस्माभिः अवलम्बनीया भवति तद्विषयेपि वयं विचारपरा भवेम. It is my privilege to be part of this celebration organized by Nepali Hindu Forum UK primarily. Today I had privilege to address audiences in Nepal, in India, in the US, and finally in the UK, obviously from other countries as well. So 3 years ago, we thought that let us do something that honors the mantra drashta Rishayo mantra drashta and our ancestors, and the insights, the knowledge, the jnana, it has been imparted to us. So while thinking that, we found only Sanskrit as the qualified thing that the whole humanity can celebrate together. So it is beyond any caste, beyond any, let us say, ethnicity, beyond any race, beyond any language, even nationality. Yeah. So the non-attachment of Sanskrit towards any of them, it makes Sanskrit uh, qualified to be embraced by all across the world. So by thinking that, we started celebrating World Sanskrit Day. Though it was a small program at that time, yeah, in one of the campuses of Tribhuvan University in Kathmandu. So we invited Nepal Sanskrit University, Central Department of Sanskrit Tribhuvan University, and Sanskrit scholars like that. But many people liked that idea. Yeah, I remember the local media in Nepal, they gave relatively huge coverage. Otherwise, it is so even in other parts of the world. It is especially so in case of Nepal. Most of the news coverage is for politicians, then corporates, yeah, celebrities, uh, crime, and such, so and so. So, but that event got huge coverage, and today's coverage, and since last few days we have been getting coverage on this, it is tremendous. Yeah, it was beyond our imagination. So this is how this idea got popular in the second World Sanskrit Day. More hands joined us in the third Sanskrit Day celebration. Programs were organized in 11 countries, yeah, in some parts of Nepal. Today, hundreds of programs were organized within Nepal, and we are yet to receive the details in how many countries this program was organized. So it must be more than 20. Yeah. So people like this idea. Yeah. Let us celebrate Sanskrit Day. Yeah. Across the globe. And why we had chosen this day? We had two logics. Yeah. One, yeah, as I said, Rishayo Mantra Stara. This is the day dedicated for the rishis and rishikas, obviously. And we also learned that in ancient time, this was the day to start new academic session. Yeah, for Achararamba, it was Basanta Panchami, but to start the academic session, this day used to be chosen. So we also choose this day, and I'm very happy as the initiator that Nepali Hindu Forum UK also embraced this idea. We are together for this. Yeah. In fact, yeah, we invited Nepali Hindu Forum UK and Sarideta International in the US, and Global Bhutani Hindu Organization in the US to be part of the main celebration in Nepal as well. So we were connected through technology. Some of us were present at Valmiki Vidyapit. We celebrated there as well, and this is how we are connected. So what is the connecting point? Obviously, Sanskrit is the connecting point, and so to highlight its importance and to promote this, we have decided certain activities to be undertaken. yeah, in collaboration with Nepal Sanskrit University, Tribhuvan University, Jayatu Sanskritam, and other organizations. For instance, we will be honoring at least one person from across the world, maybe from within Nepal, maybe India, maybe UK, USA, who has contributed for the promotion of Sanskrit significantly. Yeah, it may be posthumously or a senior citizen, let us say. So that will be honor. Will be starting from next year's celebration, and another will be providing research grants to young Sanskrit scholars. Generally, what happens in our part of the world, there are hundreds, even thousands of awards, but not the research grants. So we want to change this thing little bit. So we'll be providing not award. Yeah. So this will be research grant. It may be little bit, but it will have a greater impact for future. Others also would be inspired to establish research endowments rather than awards only. Yeah. So that we will do. A third thing we have decided and we declared in the main function today, that we will be making short movies in Sanskrit. So we did a little bit experimentation. Few days ago, we filmed an informal gossip between, let us say, 5-6 youth in a cafe. They all were talking in Sanskrit, and that has gained yeah, a kind of popularity here. And encouraged by this, today we have announced that we will be making this movie. Yeah, and this will be on screen latest by the World Sanskrit Day next year. So we'll try to make even earlier, and then maybe here we can have collaboration. We would be bothering you that we want to start online Gurukul. So many people from across the world, they have been requesting us to launch Sanskrit related classes online. So considering that, we have packaged something called online Gurukul, and before actually launching that, we'll be coming into contact with you. We'll be consulting, and we'll be exploring how people can be enriched by your expertise through ourselves. So that is also one thing we said, and one more thing, we want this World Sanskrit Day celebration through United Nations. So a little bit we have talked to government of Nepal and even government of India, because it should be proceeded through the government channel, and another government should support that in the UN forum. So we'll be talking to Chinese government and maybe UK. Yeah, we have very long relation with UK. So other countries as well. So our effort will be to make UN declare this day, this Rishi Tarpani, not by let us say Western calendar, but according to Vaidika calendar, to declare this day as World Sanskrit Day. So we seek support from your side, all of the scholars here. We request you to help us in this regard as well, because the document, the lobbying, all these things, needs huge resources. Yeah, huge lobbying. So we'll be together for that. And finally, one more thing. While we see Sanskrit is on the rise in different parts of the world, in case of Nepal, it experienced heavy setback, but it's reviving. A kind of renaissance is going on, and by numbers, we have largest number of gurukulas in Nepal if we see last 100-year time period. So today we have the largest number of gurukulas. So it's booming. So, and while we see different organizations are spreading knowledge and, let us say, sadhana techniques, all these things across the world, but different mantras, different techniques, they have some attachment to certain segments. So um, uh, that will be continued by them. So we have thought to take pranava, om only, and make people, let us say, chant om at least 2 times a day, earlier in the morning and before actually going to the bed. So we have decided we will have a group. In fact, some of them have been assigned for that. We will have a standardized videos in different languages: English, French, Spanish, let us say Sanskrit, Hindi, Nepali, and so on. That we will be starting very soon. So through Om, we will be facilitating people to attain their physical, mental, as well as let us say adhyatmika abhyuda. So that was also decided and we declared there. So things start in a small scale, and yeah, later on they become larger. Yeah, and finally larger than life. So World Sanskrit Day celebration, it was started by a small organization then. Yeah, Jarikilo Pratisthan was very small organization then. We have grown little bit, and not so bigger even today, but we have grown much as compared to that time. But we thought even at that stage, let us start something like this, and it has been welcomed by you people. Yeah, such dignitaries. I was let us say mesmerized while I listened what Helen Harperji and Kamal Ravniyarji, yeah, they presented. It was not that I listened that thing today only. No, so many things we also speak. Yeah, we present to the students. We discuss among ourselves all these things. But the way they presented, that was unique, and that was their own sattva, let us say. So it was very nice, and Surya Prasad Upadhyayaju, he is such a kind person. He keeps on encouraging us. Yeah, Durgaji, we are long time friends. Yeah, and yeah, today's master of ceremony. Yeah, Chiranjeeviji. I know him, but we have not got much time to let us say communicate face to face. But many people here I know personally, I knew personally. Today, in the name of World Sanskrit Day, we came together, and I am really grateful to Nepali Hindu Forum UK for organizing this event. And in the coming years, I am sure there will be more organizations across the world to celebrate this. And this thing is due to the power Sanskrit has. It intrinsically has this power. We are just the means. Yeah, we are sadhan. We are just doing what karma wants to do. Yeah, by us. So with this, I'd like to conclude here. Thank you again. Om Jayatu Sanskrit.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nirmal Adhikari, for your excellent speech about Sanskrit language and your ideas and the plans for the future. As you said, Sanskrit language is beyond language. It is beyond religion, beyond ethnicity, beyond nationality, and it is for humanity. And your ideas, Sanskrit movie, online Gurukul, and declaration of Sanskrit Day by UN. These are the excellent ideas, and we'll definitely support for this. Thank you so much. And now we are running out of time, so we have 8 people reciting the Bhagavad Gita. So we had planned to recite 2 verses. Now we have to cut it down. So can you please just recite 1 verse, please? Okay? So we have 8 people. So I'll call your name. And first of all, Sanskriti Pokhrel.
namaha vatham tidilna niyatha bihaya noani pinnati nalo palani tatha sarirani biha tadilna yanyani hamyati noani dehi.
Thank you so much. Thank you. She's only 4 years old and she's the daughter of our Acharya Durga Prasad Pokhrelji. And next one, Arati Nichaniji, please.
Namaste. I'm reciting from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 10. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyatena sapapena padma patramivambhasa. And this means one who performs activity by being firmly established in the Brahman or consciousness without any attachment is free from the bondage of activity, just like a water droplet on a lotus leaf. Dhanyavada.
Thank you so much, Nichaniji. And now, Prasannata Kafliji. Next one.
Namo Namaha. I'm going to recite verse 19 from chapter 3. Tasmadasakta satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma paramapnoti purushaha. Therefore, always perform the actions which should be done without attachment. For performing action without attachment, man attains the supreme. Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you so much. Prasannata ji is our classmate. We are doing Sanskrit class with Helen ji. Okay, then next one, Samragji.
Namo Namaha, Mama Nama Samragi Pokrelaha. I'll be reciting the Bhagavad Gita verse from chapter 1, verse 36. Arjuna Vacha Nihatya Dharta Rashanaha Kapriti Sya Janardana Papam Eva Shrayat Ashman Hatve Tanatatainaha. And this means, Arjuna said, O Janardana, Krishna, what satisfaction would there be for us in striking down the sons of Dhritarashtra? Guilt, indeed, would trouble us after killing these aggressors. Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much. She is also the student of Sanskrit class. And the next one, Soumya ji. Soumya.
Hari Om. Verse 12 from chapter 15.
What in
Yada did
What happened? There's something.
Yeah, it looks like a technical problem. So let's go for
Okay.
another.
Okay, so the next one is Samriddhi.
Namo Namaha. Yadadityagatam tejo jagat bhashayate khilam yajchandramasi yajjagno tatejo viddhimamakam. And this means that brilliance which exists in the sun causes the whole world to shine. That which is in the moon as well as in the fire, know that light to be mine.
Thank you so much. Excellent. And the next one, Kaustabaji. Kaustabaji.
Sorry, I was disconnected.
Sorry, I was disconnected.
Okay, then Soumya ji, go on, please.
Yada dityagatam tejo jagad bhasayate kilam yat chandramasi yat jagno tat tejo viddhimamakam. The meaning of this verse is, Lord Krishna says, that light which is residing in the sun and which illuminates the whole world, and that which is in the moon and in the fire, know that light to be mine.
Brilliant recitation. Thank you so much. And
Thank
Kaustubji.
Yeah. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 6. Natat bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Lord Krishna states here, my supreme abode is where neither sun nor moon nor fire shines, and having gone there, they do not return. The philosophical import is that supreme abode is not a any geographical location which can be illumined by any gross sources of light. So it's beyond physical perception. And second is no return means it is that state of pure consciousness where we are not subjected to compulsive cycles and transmigrate between different states like waking, dream, deep sleep, and maybe another body after the death to seek its fulfillment. So that's it. Hariom.
Thank you so much. And the last one, Dr. Binod Babu Pageniji.
Hariom. I'm going to speak the verse, Gita verse 48 from chapter 2. Yoga Guru Karmani Tyokta Dhananjaya Siddha Siddhyo Samo Bhutva Samattam Yoga Yuchati. It means fix in yoga, O Dhananjaya, perform actions, giving up attachment, being unperturbed in success and failure. Equanimity is called yoga. Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much. This is a wonderful recitation. We are really sorry that we plan to recite at least 2-3 verses, but due to the lack of time, we couldn't do that. We are very sorry for that. It was a matter of great pride and pleasure to host such a wonderful program with Jarikilo Pratisthan Nepal on the special occasion of International Sanskrit Day. We'd like to continue to organize such program in the coming days too. We are really grateful for the presence of our guest, Helenji, Kamalji, and Mariji, Giridhariji, and all the dignitaries attended in this program. And would like to thank and extend our vote of thanks to all the participants, to all the students who recited the Bhagavad Gita verses. It was really inspiring. And thank you very much. We'd like to conclude with the prayers. So let's do Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina prayer.
चिरञ्जीवीज्यू हाम्रो गिरिधारी बानज्यूले प्रश्न सोध्न खोज्नु भएछ र चुडा कार्कीज्यूले गर्दा हजुरको प्रेयर पछि उहाँहरूलाई मौका दिउँ 2-3 मिनेटमा सक्ला त्यो
Okay, that's fine then. Let's do the prayer, then finish this one, then we'll do. Okay. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pasyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. May all be happy. May all enjoy prosperity. May all enjoy health and prosperity. May none suffer. Thank you. Okay, then we'll. Okay.
What we will do is, I know we didn't do justice to the students. I'm really from my heart. We are very sorry that we had to restrict to 1 verses because we wanted to finish it on time. But can I request Girdani Banji that you have raised your hand. So very quickly, we would like you to ask the question, please, and also Dr. Chura Karkiju, and then we will finish off the program. Thank you, Chiranjeeviji, for being an excellent moderator for today's program. Thank you. Giridhari Banji.
Yeah, Dhanyavad. My question is to Dr. Harper. We are here to promote Sanskrit, and I've been acutely conscious that over the last few decades, we've not been able to get Sanskrit and even Hindi brought into the educational curriculum in this country, and which is unfair to a million people who come from the South Asian subcontinent. What advice would you give us to ensure that the languages are offered on an optional basis for students to learn within the educational system?
Most things, if anybody is involved in business, what you will find is that most things arise because of demand. So if you find that children in particular, they're the ones that need to want it, and the parents need to support it. Yeah. Without that, nothing will happen. And that's why this is such a wonderful class that Durga, the Acharya Durga ji runs, because I think it's when you get parents who are willing to learn along with their children, certainly at this sort of stage, that's when there's some chance of success. It's all very well wanting your children to learn Sanskrit, but if you're not willing to do the work yourself, sorry if I offend anybody, but if you're not willing to do the work yourself, children observe all this. And yeah, so yes, you've got to lead the way. If you want anything to happen, you have to lead the way by actually studying yourself, adults. That's right. And that's how I feel about it anyway. And then what's appropriate will arise. And of course, one of the things that I feel is the most important is this very careful teaching of Sanskrit, so that yes, it might be a spoken language, but what is really important about it for the life of a young person, that's what one has to ask. So that's my answer.
Thank you very much. Can I also request now Dr. Churakarkiji, who wants to make a suggestion, please? And that is the last one for today, Chiranjeeviji.
Yeah, thank you very much for organizing such a brilliant program and for allowing me to participate as well. It was just a suggestion for the next World Sanskrit Day, I've been in touch with Mahesh Sanskrit Gurukul, and I don't know if Professor Adhikari would want to make a comment. I think it is high time, with such a lot of interest in Sanskrit, that we have a Sanskrit research center in Nepal, I think, in one of the universities, or like Mahesh Gurukul, who are trying to open up a research center. So that would unite everybody and attract academics from this country, from USA and rest of the world. I thought there's no time to get onto that, but I think a research center, a university of its own, might help to proliferate the sort of. I came in contact with this group and other people in my twilight years, which I really love Sanskrit, but I thought that's just a suggestion,
Dr. Nirmala Adhikari, would you like to comment?
Thank you for your suggestion. In fact, we would like to facilitate in such things. The Jarikilo family primarily working as activist, let us say, it is creating conducive environment for Sanskrit and so many other languages in Nepal. In fact, the very term Jarikilo represents that we want to strengthen what is indigenous, what is original to Nepal, that is ideal for ours, and whatever we need, for instance, technology, even let us say human resources from other parts of the world, but let us do that. And primarily we do activism, some kind of research, publication, let us say audiovisual production, dissemination, all these things. If you take the very particular case of this World Sanskrit Day, our focus is to popularize Sanskrit through this means. So this celebration of a single day, in fact, it invigorates so many other things. So the research aspect also comes there. It is not that there are not research centers in Sanskrit University as well. There is a research center. Yeah. Likewise, they have recently initiated what they call to make a research center. So our interest would be primarily to poke them. Yeah. So because if we can re-energize Nepal Sanskrit University itself, that will be more beneficial rather than we start a very new institution by ourselves. So our primary focus would be to be engaged with them, to encourage them, to facilitate them, sometimes even let us say generate some funds for them. Yeah. But finally, if they don't work, let us say we'll try to persuade them for 2 years, 5 years. What next? Then we have to start ourselves. Yeah, but I hope you understood. Our priority would be to make them realize what they really have with them. If they don't do, then we will be there in the scene.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Chiranjeeviji, is there anything else it's best to close it now then, yeah?
Yeah.
So can I wrap it up then? Thank you very much, everyone who has joined us today. Excellent speakers. I'm not going to go through everything, but one thing that has come out from everyone today is that Sanskrit, it's a scientific language which is here to stay, and hopefully with the fifth Sanskrit Diwas and the aspiration of Dr. Nirmala Mani Adhikari ji to liaise with our neighbor Bharat Mata, and then to have it instituted in United Nations would be a great way to go. And finally, I would like to thank all those who recited Bhagavad Gita and the verses today, and all three speakers who have actually said things that were very, very crucial to us. I'm afraid I could not name a lot of heads of organization that have attended today due to time constraint, but all I would say that I have seen you attending today, and I from my bottom of my heart, I thank you for joining with Jarikilo Abhiyan, Jarikilo Pratisthan Nepal, and making this event a success. Thank you very much. Over to you, Chiranjeevi Paurelji, if you have got any last words.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Subharatri, hope to see you all again.
Shubharatri, all of us.
And I shall be sending if I get from the speakers the notes, I will be sending it to interested individuals.
I would.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Sarvebhyo namo namah.
Namo namah.
Namo namah.